to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you are already subscribed. Today we're going to be seeing who you should pick if you're choosing between two romantic partners. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, but instead we're going to get kind of the overall vibe of both of these people and see like what their intentions would be and what the outcome looks like it would be right now, choosing either one of them. So I have 3 piles to choose from today. I'm going to give you a warning right now that my hands are super stained because I just dyed my hair, so please do your best to ignore that because I've tried everything to get the dye off of it and we're working with it today. We're just going with the flow. So I have 3 piles. First we have pile 1. I have pile 2 and pile 3. So the timestamps will be linked down below, and just as a reminder before I jump into your reading, I do have a website, livingyourbestlight.com, if you're interested in getting a personal reading for me. And I need to relist my astrology consultations back on there, and I also have some like spiritual oils, fun stuff like that. So if you're interested, the link is in the bio, as well as the link to the timestamps for your pile. I will see you in your reading. Pile 1, how are you doing? If you chose this tower, this is your reading. So first we're going to get like a description of both of these people to help you identify if this is in fact your pile. So let's go ahead and shuffle the oracle. So can I have an archetypal card for person number 1? Okay. We have the Yogini, and the description on the back says, "We are all one, each an inseparable part of the unseen infinite energies that surround, sustain, empower us, and all there is." So I feel like person number 1 is pretty spiritual. Might have inspired like a spiritual awakening within you as well. Let's see person 2. Okay, we have, I do not know how to say this, the Sylvie. Think twice before sharing what you know with anyone except those who you know without question are ready to hear it. So I feel like this person 2 is like the more hesitant one out of the 2. This person seems like more grounded. That's my immediate impressions, but let's keep getting some more information. I'm gonna take another archetypal card from this deck. Spirit, can you describe person 1 for me? Okay, we have the Tear. Let me see if I can get another one. Okay. We have the Forest. Move this up a little. And we have the Bridge. Okay. Interesting. Lots of like rainbow colors happening with that too. This person might like literally wear a lot of tie-dye, or they just have that like hippie energy associated with them. I think this person is very in tune with their emotions. I think they might be a little bit too emotional for you, and maybe that's why this like hesitance with them. This person might be someone who's outdoorsy. I get that impression. They might even be like a part of like van life or like express interest in van life. But I think that there is like a real profound like connection between you two, and it's recognizable to you as well, and that's kind of why you're confused. So we have the riddle here. Yeah, this other person, the pile 2, I'm gonna put this in the middle to give like the separation. This like second person for you, pile 1, is very much so like cryptic and kind of confusing for you. I feel like this was like a situationship possibly that you like wanted to turn into a relationship. And they just don't seem to be very straightforward with you. We have the box here too. This person might be like very unique and like always like thinking outside of the box, or they might be the very opposite and very confined to like their, I don't know, traditional values, and maybe that's why there's like this taboo associated with them. Okay, so we also, let's do some astrology. I feel like I'm getting a pretty good idea of who these 2 people are. Oops. Okay, so Spirit, tell me about pile 1 with the astrology oracle. Okay, we have tension. Maybe there was like a fight you got into with this person recently, or sexual tension, if not a fight. We have 5th house. I feel like this person really allows you to be childlike and have a sense of wonder with them, which is something you really enjoy. There's a lot of creative efforts. This person also might be an artist. And we have Gemini, cross-pollinate. I think that you guys have a very natural like flow of conversation together, and it makes it really easy to express yourself because you guys are always jumping from one topic to the other. They're very easy to talk to for you. Tell me about person 2. Okay, we have Vesta, Hearth. Okay, this person feels like home to you in a lot of ways. They light like a fire in you. We have invitation here. Okay. Invitation to what? I feel like invitation to like your primal instincts. I'm seeing a lot of like animal imagery. I feel like you guys have like really intense like sex, or you would have really intense sex if you haven't had sex with them. We also have sun here too. I think this person might be a Leo or have like Leo sun energy associated with them, or like significant parts of their chart. There's like a lot of like sun and like fire imagery with them too. So I think that there's a lot of passion here. And there's passion in a different way here, but it's more like childlike wonder, like playing with each other. This very much so seems like, to me, relationshipy versus like hookup situation that maybe you wanted to turn into something more, and you're trying to see like if it has like the legs to go the long run. Interesting. So let's get some like cards to describe these people too. So describe person one for me. Okay. We have sportive. Yeah, so playful, merry, joking around, done in sport, like not taken seriously, like horseplay. We have, let's see. I don't know why I'm saying we have already. Person one. Okay. We have temperance. Okay, moderation, self-control regarding alcohol or other desires or pleasures. This person might be like really in balance with like I don't know, I wanted to say give and take in life, but I feel like whenever they're like overindulging in something, they're able to like step back from it and be like, okay, like I've had a little too much of this. Okay, we also have volatile, so varying, inconstant, fleeting, tending to violence, explosive. Okay, but this person does seem to have like an aggressive side to them, and maybe that's why you're like, I don't really know if I want to be with you, because it's weird that most of the time they seem to be like all love and lights, all like spiritual, like hippie, and then did you hear that car outside? Yeah, so like spiritual hippie, but then like the car is making me think of literally like you're in the car with them and you say something that pisses them off and they get mad and like speed away, cringe, but like stuff like that. We also have zeal coming out, so great fervor or enthusiasm for a cause, person, tireless diligence in furthering that cause. So this person's very humanitarian. I get the sense there's like some Aquarius energy going on here. And I think that doing like humanitarian efforts would be something that you guys would have a lot of fun doing. But I think that their like issues with their anger is like a big part of why you're kind of turned off with them. And how I said like them being in touch with their emotions earlier and like them being a little too emotional, that kind of like turns you off of them. I think that there's just a need for this person to like I don't know, have more like emotional restraint, and they can feel the way they feel, but you don't always have to act on those things. So let's do person two. I keep wanting to say pile two. We have satiate, satiate. Oh my god, I'm so bad at pronunciation. We have satiate or estate. I think that's how you say it. To fully satisfy, to go beyond satisfying. Yeah. So this isn't definitely in regard to like orgasms, for sure. Like that's like the first thing that pops in my head. I feel like this person really sexually satisfies you, and like they might be your type sexually, like on paper, and that's like why this attraction. That's why I said like very primal, animalistic. We have sacrosanct, sacred, inviolable, not to be trespassed, honor violated, above any criticism. This person might, I think there's two things coming through here. I think you might get very defensive about this relationship to like your friends who are like, I don't know if you should be with that person. Or this person is very like defensive when you confront them. Like you do, they tell you one thing and they do another, and you're like, what? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. It's like kind of the vibe I get here. What else? Sacred. I do feel like this like sex between you guys does feel very sacred though. Very like spiritually connected. But also I'm gonna tell you something that I learned. I don't remember where I learned this, but a lot of the times when you're in like a push and pull sexual relationship with somebody, we can give a lot more meaning to it, like how good the sex is, because that's the only time you're getting that like gratification from pursuing this relationship. So you can like really make the sex seem to be really good in your mind, but it feels that way because that's kind of like all you're getting from this person. Maybe I'm not saying that's the case for you, but if there's like heavy emphasis around like sex, like hookups, maybe the sex isn't as good as you're thinking it is because they're kind of just breadcrumbing you in other ways. We also have stark, so complete, total, utter, harsh or grim, extremely simple, severe, blunt or plain. Yeah, this person I think has a very like blunt communication style with you, and very much so like how I said earlier, like I am who I am. I feel like they're very much like I'm keeping it real, but like real to them means, and like they're the type of person to say they're blunt, but they're like actually just being an asshole and they just want to say they're just honest. I think is very much so. I feel like I'm being very biased towards this person. I'm totally not trying to be, but like that's just what's coming up. And then we have static, so fixed, not moving or changing, lacking vitality. This person's like really, I don't even think this is in regards to like you pursuing this relationship, but more so being that this person's like very much so stuck in their ways. They're stuck in who they are, and it does not seem like they're going to be changing that anytime soon. So let's see now with the tarot, the two outcomes of these relationships, like if you pursued person number 1 or person number 2. So let's start with person 1. Oh my gosh, a gust of wind keeps coming through from these cards. Tell me about person 1 and pile 1's relationship. Okay. We have the 8 of Ghosts reversed, and we have the 5 of Pumpkins reversed. I take this personally as very much so from Spirit saying like going towards each other. I also take it as this is like, I don't know, for some reason I'm feeling like your spirit guides or whoever's looking out for you on the other side, they really like this connection with person 1. Okay, we have 3 of Wands coming out here too. Oh, okay, I'm taking this as a literal message. You know how I said with person 2, they like light your fire? To me, this is Spirit saying to me and to you, like this person can light your fire too. You just need to figure out how to do it with them differently. Maybe literally doing it with them or just pursuing the relationship. We have the 9 of Pumpkins. I think that you would be very fulfilled in this relationship. I think that there would be, I want to say luxury, but not necessarily luxury in the material sense, but luxury associated with like abundance and emotional fulfillment. I also just saw 1101. We have Temperance coming out. That's so funny because that card came out too. So I think it's a matter of this relationship needing to become more balanced. I think the power dynamic needs to shift here a little bit. I don't know if it's been you in control. I do think it's been you, but it doesn't have to be. Who's been largely in control of this relationship or like the dom in the relationship. But the power dynamic needs to shift a little so both parties feel equal parts in the relationship. We also have the Wheel of Fortune here. Let me get a clarifier for the Wheel of Fortune. I want to know exactly what we're referring to. Okay, we have the 3 of Ghosts. Yeah, I think you would have a lot of fun with this person. I think you'd be able to go out. I think this person would also like, you guys would go out with friends together. Maybe you have mutual friends, but I think that this card is a cause for celebration. So being clarified or clarifying the Wheel of Fortune, it tells me that the Wheel of Fortune is alluding to this relationship being one of like celebration and not one of like, I don't know, karmic backlash. So that's person 1, and that looks pretty good to me. I don't know what you think, pile 1, but that looks pretty good to me. So now let's see person 2. I'm gonna move this. Tell me about person 2's relationship with pile 1, if they pursued a relationship with them. Okay, we have the King of Cups. I think that you would be, if you want to be a traditional housewife, house husband, I think that this is a good sign to be in this relationship. If you don't pursue this relationship, because I see this as them and this is you. I mean, this is maybe a child or literally a pet, but you're kind of going to be in a position of like taking care of them. So if that's what you want, that's great. If not, I'm telling you right now. We have the Ace of Wands. Yeah. On the more unhelpful side, I think this person is really controlling. I think they would be really controlling in a relationship with you too. You would feel like constantly you're being like held back in life, because I think that they would be holding you back. We have the Emperor. So I'm getting very much so related to them. They would feel empowered in this relationship, but you would feel squandered, because we have that King of Cups. We have this hand coming out. We have the Emperor here. We have the 3 of Wands. Interesting. And we have the 5 of Pumpkins in reverse. Okay, but you would feel really like, it's interesting these two came out together too, because this came out in the last pile. And it was very much so like a message for you knowing to know that pile 1 could light your fire too if you pursued it differently. And here I'm taking it as, yes, this person lights your fire, but like how long is that fire going to be sustainable for you to feel like just being dragged by this person? There's so much like dragging imagery happening here too, and like you looking to spirit in the universe and being like, I feel fucking stuck, I don't know what to do. And we have the Knight of Pumpkins. So it's not that this person wouldn't make an offer to you, like it's not anything to do with you. They would make an offer, and we have the Lovers coming out in reverse with that too. But I don't think this is, maybe the maybe the offer is what you want to receive, but long term, I don't think you'll be happy in this relationship, pile 1, and that's for you to decide and me to just guide. So I do hope this reading helped you and helped you clarify some things. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like on this video and let me know in the comments what resonated, if it was helpful for you. And also, if you like my vibe, please do stay and subscribe to my channel. We have a lot of fun here. I have a lot of new interesting stuff coming out, and I would love to have you. But either way, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed week, and I will see you later. Bye. Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Carnelian Tower, you're in the right place. So first, what I'm going to do is get like just descriptors and overall like vibes from these 2 people you're choosing between. So we're going to use the Oracle to do that, and then we'll expand upon that and see what the outcomes of this relationship would be if you pursued either one of them. So Spirit, can you tell me about person 2 or person 1 for pile 2? Okay, we have the humorous coming out. The refreshing joy, exhilaration, and skills learned from creative play and laughter are their own reward and can help you solve problems. So I think this first person is like really funny, not to overly simplify it, but I think this person is someone who's very much so the life of the party. They might like the show. This is so specific, maybe only for a few people. They might like the show I Think You Should Leave on Netflix, or like Tim Robinson, SNL, stuff like that. But I think this person is really funny, and if they don't literally do comedy, I think that they're really interested in comedy, and they like being the center of attention, like with their friends. They're like the one who's always making people laugh. Tell me about pile 2 or person 2. I keep saying that. We have the Messenger. Make sure what is being said is what is being heard. The same words and messages can often mean different things to different people. So there might be some like miscommunication going on with this person. I get the sense that person 2 here is very much so like a written wordsmith. Like they might, maybe you guys communicate a lot over text or over like letters, or they might be a writer, write poetry, but I just get the sense that they're very much so, or they love like reading classics, like, I don't know, like stuff like that, like Frankenstein. They like reading horror stuff. That's just really specific. So moving on, let's get into some more archetypes for person 1 and person 2. But the energy here is really interesting because they're very different. This person's very like humorous, lighthearted. I feel like this person's very serious, very deep. And I don't think either one is bad. I don't have judgments so far, but they're just very different. Tell me about person 1. Okay. We have the Dead End. It's too hard to shuffle like that. Tell me about person 1. We have the Mirror. And we have Agape. Interesting. Okay. So I don't like talking about stuff like this in my videos very often because I think in the spiritual community, these terms often get misconstrued and like taken in a way that they're not meant to. But I feel like there's a lot of like mirroring going on with you and this person. This probably was like a karmic relationship, very emotional situation. So even though they're much lighthearted in the way that they show their personality and show themselves to the world, I think in this relationship there's a lot of mirroring going on. And I think like the Dead End from Spirit is kind of a literal message of like, maybe this relationship has like run its course, but we'll see. But there is a lot of love associated with this connection too, because we have Agape, which is universal love. And I think that this first relationship too was very much like a catalyst for you to like learn a lot about yourself through like watching this person. They might have done things that reminded you a lot of yourself and allowed you to reflect deeper on yourself. Tell me about person 2. We have Gnosis, which is divine timing, I believe. We have Eros, which is romantic love. Interesting. Lots of like concept cards with the second person. Very deep. I do think, okay, we have the threshold here too. So like someone getting ready to jump. In the beginning I said, I'm not going to tell you who to pick, and I won't. But I will tell you with the second person, this seems like a karmic relationship, very much so real and good in its own right, but it's kind of served its course, it seems like to me. Doesn't mean that you can't choose to pursue it still. But with this person, this seems like the next karmic relationship for you. Whether, I don't know, again, like I don't like reading into the terms too much, but this is your next like fated partnership, it seems like. Because there is like an element of like jump and the universe will catch you associated to this connection. And like with the divine timing and the romantic love, like that's just the vibes I'm getting. But let's get like deeper. Let's use the astrology cards. Tell me about person one. We have Neptune. I feel bad with Neptune. I've kind of given it a bad reputation in my head, so I just saw 444. I won't be too biased with you, but I always, when I see Neptune now, I think of like nasty Neptune, because Neptune can be associated with delulu thinking, but it can also, on a more positive side, be associated with like your subconscious, dreams, daydreaming. But I am going to tell you to be aware of delulu thinking here, because a lot of stuff happens with Neptune in getting caught up in like a fantasy, and maybe you're making a more of a character of this person in this relationship through like rose-colored glasses than what is reality. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but I'm saying be aware of that. We also have Pluto rebirth here, which makes me think again, and it did come out in reverse, and typically I don't read those in reversals, but I'll give you that context. And within this, the context of this like relationship, I see the rebirth being more so associated with you. Like, I think that you really had to have like a phoenix rising moment with this relationship, whether directly related to it or other stuff that was going on in your life. This person might have like helped you through a lot of emotional and mental challenges. We have Chiron heal too. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. I think that you guys were probably often there for each other in a lot of like maternal, paternal ways, and maybe healing some like mommy daddy issues together. So that's really great. So let's see about the second person. This person might be like a coworker. We have the sun. We have invitation, descendant. And let's see. We have, oh geez, too many. Okay, I'm gonna take the two that came out. Mars, and we have Libra. Okay, there's a lot going on here. I feel like this relationship is like coming in hot. Like once you make a decision, I feel like this relationship's gonna come in like real hot, and I think it's gonna be really passionate. Because like it does seem, I'm taking this as like a literal message with the sun source, descendant invitation, and then we have Mars motion. So like it's like the light is shining on this new invitation to get the ball rolling here, and then we have Libra balance too. So I think that this person is probably heavy like Libra. That's really the impression I'm getting for them. I think they're heavy, someone who's like very much so like diplomatic in the way that they speak. They might actually do like something associated with the law, politics, something, or like aspirationally for work, or they're just interested in it. For a very specific amount of people, they might write political things, whether for school or for work. But I think this person is very much so about moderation, and this can make them come across indecisive as well. But they're just really interested in hearing like all sides of it before they make judgments. Interesting. So finally, let's get some word descriptors. Okay. Let's do person one. Tell me about person one. Okay. We have malleable. Able to be bent, shaped, or adapted. So, like I said, just because I'm telling you I think this relationship has saved its course, it does look like here, Spirit's saying, like, you can continue to choose this relationship if you want. We have substantiate, so support with evidence or proof, give a material existence to. Interesting. Let me get a clarifier for that. Let's see. What is this referring to? The 11th house. Support with evidence or proof. Oh, maybe you want to make this relationship work, or they want to make it work. There's something associated with like community, friendships, like a group that you're a part of that, like, I don't know, you guys feel kind of stupid. Maybe both of you feel kind of stupid that you didn't make this relationship work. And I think there's pressure associated with like announcing it to the public because of people's judgments. It's not gonna be for everybody, but interesting. So we have tirade, bitter, abusive criticism, or verbal attack. Okay, interesting. So I think like with fights in this person, they often, maybe they have a tendency to get really bitter, or like they could just be like super nitpicky about you and the things that you do, which is interesting because they have this like, they're a fun person and they seem like they're fun, but like when they're triggered, they really get bitter and like I was gonna say self-blame, but that's not what I mean. They can't take self-blame. They like blame everybody else. They're very much so, just how they project like humor and like their like fun persona, they can also project like their own fears, insecurities, and defensiveness onto other people, especially in a relationship like with you. So we have fixed, not moving, changing, lacking vitality. So it's gonna be different for everybody, it seems like, because we do have malleable too. So these are like conflicting messages. So for some of you, this relationship can change. For others of you, it seems like this is the way that it is. Or alternatively, if this relationship can change anyway, maybe this person is not going to change, and it's a matter of, are you willing to change yourself? And I'm not saying changing your core self, but like changing and adapting like what you want in a partner to fit this person. Like how badly do you want to make it work? So person 2, tell me about them. Okay, we have liberal. So I do think this is like a literal political message associated with this, but also we have favorable to progress or reform, believing in maximum possible freedom, tolerant, open-minded, generous. So like I said, very diplomatic person. Then we have specious. Seemingly true, but actually false, deceptively attractive, interesting. So this person might use flattery to alter reality and to their advantage with other people. You included, but also just like publicly. Okay, then we have, this is so interesting. We have 2 cards come out. This one, whereas, while on the contrary. So if we put these together with specious, whereas, and then we have mercurial, quickly and unpredictably changing moods, fickle, flighty. So we have like the seemingly true, but actually false. On the contrary, quickly and unpredictably changing moods. Okay. So this person might have a lot of issues with like mood swings and stuff like that, or because like I said, they had that indecisiveness associated with them. Maybe they come across to other people, or maybe they actually are, only you could know for sure, as like two-faced, but really it's because they're trying to like understand all sides of it. I think there is a real need for this person to like reel themselves in with that, because I think it's good to be diplomatic and to be balanced and to be, I love to debate stuff like that and hear all sides of an argument. But at some points you have to have opinions. Like you can't, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. And I think this is something this person struggles with a lot. So interesting. Now we're going to see what the relationship would be like with person 1, and then we'll do the relationship with person 2. This is fun. Are you having fun? I'm having so much fun. Okay, so let's get the tarot. Oh my gosh. Okay. Tell me about the relationship with person 1. Okay. We have the Ace of Bats in reverse. So I think that you would feel like free in this relationship with person 1. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which I do want to get a clarifier for. Okay. Though I do think there is a lot of like anxiety with this relationship. I think that this first person is an ex. And like I said before, I do think heavy, this is an ex partnership of some kind, because there is a lot of like karmic relationship-y vibes and a lot of karma associated with it. I can feel the history of person 1 and you. But so I think that there's a lot of just like existing beliefs that you have like about anxieties regarding this relationship, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be a bad relationship, but I think that if you do decide to go with person one, y'all need to go to couples therapy, which is fine. Couples therapy is great. I'm in counseling school right now and I'm learning how to do couples therapy. So there's nothing wrong with that, but there will need to be this like dissolving of preconceived beliefs that you guys both have with each other. We have the Empress, and then we have Temperance. So I do think that this person like really empowers you to make you like feel and be your best self. I guess it depends if you're the feminine or the masculine in this situation. Because we're getting that the feminine feels really uplifted in this situation. I think this person thinks it's cool that you're into like witchy stuff. If you are like spirituality, they think it's interesting, and not just like on a surface level way, but they just really find you like really, really interesting. It's a good contrast for their very humorous, lighthearted personality to your like more, I don't know, sort of like deep one. Whereas with person two, I think that you guys are similar in that way. Like you both like to go deeper, and I think you teach this person a lot about themselves because they do like to take a more lighthearted approach to life. So we have the Five of Wands here. Interesting. Which tells me if you do pursue another relationship with this person, there's less fighting happening in your community with your family, their family, friends, whoever it is. There does seem to be less fighting going on if you guys like had issues with that in your past relationship. We have the Seven of Bats here too. I see kids with this person, if that's something that you guys both want, or lots of pets. For one very specific person, owning like an animal rescue or a farm of some sort. What else? Okay, we have the Emperor. So both parties look like they're empowered in this relationship. This is very much so like has the potential to be like counterpart energy. We have the Lovers. Let's do one more. We have the Ace of Wands. Okay. This tells me though, if you choose this first person, you will need to manage expectations. Like I said before, you're gonna have to allow yourself to be bendable. I don't think this relationship is requiring it, and this is how I know it's still like has the potential to be a healthy one. It's not requiring you to change core things about yourself. It's more so requiring you to be adaptable and flexible to what you expect in a partner, because they might be different than what you thought you saw yourself, who you thought you saw yourself being with. You might have some like perfectionist tendencies and you expected certain things out of a partner, and now you're having to like accept them as they are. But I think that this is something that you're okay with, and if it's not, then now you know. But there's person one. Interesting. So I think there is certainly success there, if that's what you choose to do. But just keep those things in mind. Couples therapy, you guys needing to understand each other and communicate more. Okay, let's do person two, like what your guys' relationship would be like. So tell me about person two. Okay, we have Five of Bats in reverse. We have the King of Wands in reverse. Okay. I feel like with this, I think I hear like seeing the truth. Interesting. And with the King of Wands in reverse, I think like slow moving, but I want to get clarifiers for that. I think slow moving power. Then we have the Five of Wands reverse. So conflict is happening here if you pursue this relationship. We have the Two of Ghosts. You know, this turned out much differently than I thought it would based on their descriptions at the beginning. This was like a journey. Maybe that's why you're so confused. I see why you're confused. We have Judgment in reverse. Okay, so let's get some clarifiers for these. This is an interesting energy. Okay, we have the World clarifying the Five of Swords. Okay. So I do think that this relationship would be very much so like more free-flowing than your relationship with the first person. I mean that by saying I don't get family vibes in this relationship. I get more so like travel, exploration, philosophy, stuff like very academic in this pile. Very much so like single couple, no kids. King of Wands clarified by the Queen of Pumpkins. Okay, so I do get the sense that the masculine is, not the masculine in this situation, but both of your guys' masculine energy, especially yours, is depleted in this relationship. Meaning that it's not so much action oriented, it's not so much what you're getting, what you're doing, what you're creating. but more so associated with creativity, free-flowing, going with the flow. So if that's not something that you want, then I wouldn't choose this person. We have the Star in reverse, clarifying this here. I think that the fighting leads you to, yeah, like I just think that if you're a very girl bossy person, or boy bossy, I guess, doesn't matter, person, pile 2, I wouldn't choose this relationship, because I do think that's, you're gonna put your all into this relationship, and to me it doesn't seem worth it. It's up to you to decide, but I just think, yeah, sure, this relationship will be like fine, it'll be okay, like it's not gonna be disastrous, it doesn't seem like, but it does seem like there is fighting with you guys, and compromise in a different way from person 1, where this is where you are compromising core beliefs and core values of who you are and your personality. With Judgment in reverse, let's see, the 10 of Wands. Okay, so 2 of Ghosts clarified by the Strength card. Lots of codependency happening in this relationship, and sometimes fun codependency, maybe someone to lean on, but lots of I feel like boundaries are getting like real confused here, like you're not sure where you end and they begin, and vice versa. And then we have Judgment reversed with the 10 of Wands. I think if you're with this person, there's just not a lot like happening really, like it comes across as like such an average relationship to me. I think that you would be content enough, content on the side of like sometimes unsatisfied, but content enough, and safe. But just like you don't have enough on your plate, and you might be somebody who likes to be very like busy and, I don't know, constantly like challenging yourself, routines, stuff like that. And I just don't think there's a lot like happening here. I just think this is like, it's like every other bitch. So if that's what you want, that's fine. But I think that's the clear, if I were you, I would consider what I said about pile 1 or about person 2. Maybe go watch pile 1. I keep saying that with you, pile 2, but with person 1 and with person 2, and kind of weigh my options. Or choose no one, choose yourself. But I do hope this was helpful in your decision making, pile 2. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave me a like and a comment letting me know if it resonated. If you like my vibe, please do stay and subscribe to the channel. We have lots and lots of fun here. But either way, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed week, and I will see you later. Bye. 3, welcome to your reading. First, I have to ask you, maybe this is only for a couple people, do you ride horses or like have something to do with like horseshoes or a lucky horseshoe? Because I picked up on that really heavily before I sat down to film your reading. Also, BoJack Horseman. If some of you like BoJack Horseman, interesting. So regardless of whether or not that resonates with you, we are going to see between your 2 people you're choosing. Let's put this in the middle here. We're gonna get like their overall vibe, what they're all about, and then see the outcomes of like what your relationship would be like with either person. So let's get started with pile 1, or person 1. Oh my God, I've been doing that all reading. So we have the Escapist, 52. You or someone you care about may seek refuge in escapist behaviors when faced with limits, difficulties, or sorrow of some sort. This person might be a Pisces or have like heavy Piscean Neptune placements in their charts. Also could struggle with issues of addiction, maybe not with like substances, but just escapist behaviors in a variety of ways. Gambling, shopping, video games. Have the Initiates, acknowledge what you do, not know, and learn with the beginner's mind so you can become accepted as an authority one day. So I'm getting like self-starter vibes from this person. They're like early on in their career, but I feel like they're at like a real pivotal point where they're really like making something and like building themselves up. Okay, you might have just graduated college or grad school. Get some other archetypal cards. Tell me about person 1. We have the Destroyer. Okay. We have the Dead End. And we have Kairos. Okay. So, interesting. We have the Self with person 2. We have the Crone. And we have the 1. Okay. So with person 1, I think like this person might have set out to destroy like negative cycles like in their family, like in their just like generational traumas. And it seems somewhere along the way things got lost in translation, and they themselves started to re-victimize themselves. And I think that's why they struggle a lot with like issues of addiction, however that manifests for them, or like escapism. What else? Because I don't want to say this person is like a destroyer themselves necessarily, because I don't get the sense that it's that, but I think that they see themselves as someone who like ruins everything they touch, which I'm not saying that's a healthy mindset to have by any means, because when you like identify with that mindset for so long, and it sucks because like we all go through real shitty things in life sometimes, but if you get stuck like in a consistent victimizing mindset, it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy for you. And this person might be telling themselves over and over, like, I destroy everything I touch. And I think that you're the fixer in this relationship, pile 3. Like you're always like showing up. That's why I channeled BoJack Horseman so hard. If you guys have never seen that show, Princess Carolyn and BoJack have like this relationship, very codependent relationship, where he's like constantly just like acting out in like self-destructive ways, and she's constantly there to sort of like clean stuff up for him. And it becomes unhealthy for both of them, because he doesn't have to address his issues with self-destructing, and she doesn't have to address her issues with fixing things for other people and not like looking inward. So just something to consider. And with Kairos, like the divine timing, I definitely called the different card divine timing earlier, but this I believe is the divine timing card. I think that you met this person at really pivotal points in their journey, your journey. It was for sure a fated connection. With this card, I'm interpreting it different than I did earlier, because if you've ever heard of the red string theory, it's like this idea that like people that we meet in our lives, we're connected by like the string of fate. And I think you and this person were most certainly like connected by this string of fates. You might have grown up, this is again only for a few people, in a very like Abrahamic religious household, Judaism specifically, but Christian, anything like that, or this person is Jewish. But there's very much so this essence of like you met this person at the right time and they met you at the right time. You guys were very much so, it was destined for you both to meet for whatever reason, the influence you have on each other. And then this person too here, we have like the initiates, with the acknowledge what you do not know and learn with the beginner's mind. Very much so like beginning of career, like, but at a turning point as well. I think this person has grown very wise from life's lessons. So in the very opposite to this person who has unfortunately fallen into that victimizing consistent mindset, this person has grown very wise with the things that life has thrown their way. They're very introspective, very much so associated, and not associated, very much so okay with analyzing themselves, maybe even overanalyzing themselves, but understanding their patterns and why they are the way that they are. They might literally be a psych major or just interested in like philosophy, anything like related to like social sciences, humanities, but they're very much so interested in healing themselves, going to therapy, understanding themselves deeper and better so they can show up in a better way. Now we have the 1 here too. So interestingly, even though this is a relationship reading, I'm not getting this as saying like they're your one, but saying how we have like this person sought out to be the cycle ender in their family, with their like lineage. This person sought out to do the same, and they are that person. And I'm not saying this person will never be. At this time, they are not. This person too here though, they are the destroyer of the cycles in their family, and they're like leveling up their lineage in such a way like they're letting go of like generations of baggage. And I just accidentally pulled another card for them, but we have the shadow. So I think they're very in tune with their shadow side and understanding how to use it in a way that is healthy and okay as they make their way through the world. Whereas this person is in tune with their shadow in a very different way, associated with like being uncomfortable with it. Like they're always like running from their shadow, and that's where a lot of these like escapist behaviors come from. There's like this Carl Jung quote, can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's basically like if you don't understand yourself and understand your shadow, you will go through your whole life and things will happen to you and you will call it fate. And that reminds me a lot of the differences between these two people. It seems like right now this person's not in a place to do the work, and that's okay. Doesn't mean that you have to engage in a relationship with them, and this person is in a place where they are willing to do the work. Okay, so moving on. That was like a lot, but I just had a lot to say, I guess. So let's do the astrology oracle for both of them. Person one. Tell me about person one, please. Okay. We have third house communication. I feel like this is interesting, but I feel like this is telling me communication is coming in with this person. If you haven't talked to them in a long time. A little birdie told me, that's what I'm hearing. 11th house community. I think this person has a lot of mutual friends with you, or they were on like the same team as you. You guys could even still have mutual friends, or you were close friends with them, as well as like this romantic relationship. We have the ascendant entrance. Okay. This person might be like going to AA or like NA in the future, which is good. We have Neptune vision. See, that comes, I said that earlier, like with that, like escapism. Neptune is very much so, even though it's associated with being deeply psychic and like dreams and the subconscious, it's also associated with escapism, delusional thinking, and addictions. So, okay, let's do person two here. We have Sagittarius. Yeah, philosophy heavy, because Sag is associated with the 9th house, like expansion. I think they might be like to travel, learn about different cultures. Lots of higher education going on with this person. They might even want to be like a professor. We have the 4th house home. Interesting. Let's get a clarifier for this. I feel like with this person, I'm hearing like home is wherever I'm with you. We have the sun, home too. This person is very much so, even though they're really like into their career and like expanding in that way, they very much love their home. They might have some like Cancerian energy too, but they're very like homemaking, like domestic in that way. And I think that you feel very much so like a home in them too. And I think that you guys would have a good time like traveling together, expanding together. Okay, let's get some like descriptor words before we move on to breaking down these relationships. I know there's a lot like going on right now, but I hope you're following okay. Tell me about person one. Okay, we have zeal. Great fervor or enthusiasm for a cause, person, tireless diligence in furthering that cause, passion. Okay. This person might like be an animal rights activist, because I saw PETA on there too, but it doesn't have to be. They're very like humanitarian. So even though this person dealing with their own like mental health struggles, addictions, or escapism struggles, they care about the greater good, and they just are caught up in this like victimizing mindset of themselves that they're unable to shake. Levity, lightness of mind, spirit, mood, or lack of seriousness, sometimes in an inappropriate way. So I think that this is in regards to like if you confronted this person when you were together or friends about like the things they were doing, like you're like, are you sure you want to be doing that? Especially if they like took drugs in front of you, or like did something self-destructive in front of you. This person, as a defense mechanism, is like, what are you talking about? Like acting like it's no big deal at all. And I think that probably really annoyed you. So we have standing, status, rank, reputation, existing and definitely not movable. So let's get a clarifier for this reputation, because we did have community come out for them too. They might have a certain reputation within their community. For very specific people, they might be associated with gangs or like just stuff like on the streets. So they might have to maintain a certain image to keep in those groups. We have the Mercurial. Quickly and unpredictably changing, moods, fickle, flighty. So they have a reputation also for like being super unpredictable, changing moods. I think this person, again, deals with a lot of like mental health struggles, and that's okay, because like what I always like to say is mental health is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Specifically, and I'm not here to diagnose anybody through a tarot reading, I think this person might have something close to like maybe bipolar, or like even like, I don't know, it could be ADHD too, because ADHD does have mood swings sometimes too, but I'm getting like a heavy sense of like, that'll be for some specific people if this person is bipolar. Okay. We have supersede. So replace, take the position of, cause to be disregarded as void or obsolete. So, if you have a current partner or someone you've been seeing, it seems that this person one is like trying to take the place of them. Whether it's like this person over here, somebody completely different. So let's get some descriptors for person 2. Okay, we have mendacious, lying, habitually dishonest. So let's get a clarifier for that, because I did not expect that to come out. Okay, we have lavish, abundant or giving in abundance marked by excess. Oh, so this person might be lying about like how much money they make, because like we said at the beginning, it seems like they're at like the beginning of their career. So they might be lying about how much money they make as like an insecurity issue. Like they feel like they should be farther than they are. So they put on this front of like, I don't know, like generously giving more than they can handle. We have log, keep a record of, write down, travel for or at a certain distance. Okay. So I do think this person is very much so like communicative through, oh my God, I can't speak today. Communicative through like verbal and written means. But also like we have that travel coming out again too. I literally can't pronounce anything for shit, because I usually like read a lot of stuff. So like then I say it out loud for the first time. I'm like, have I ever spoken English before? Okay, we have levy. Collect tax from, wage war on, or enlist in military service. This person could be associated with the military or like going into the military, but also, one of the things they might be lying about, this is tea, and I did not expect to pick up on this, is like something to do with like tax evasion. And I don't know if they're like doing it on purpose, but they're not filling out their taxes right. If they're creating like a new business, they need to do some more research on that there, because I think they might be like claiming too much on their taxes as like a write-off, or like not keeping their like business expenses and their personal expenses private. Interesting. So we have subside, sink, settle down, become less active, return to normal level. Okay, interesting. So I don't think any of that like weird stuff going on is associated with your guys' relationships, but more so their own stuff. And I don't think that was like necessarily like known to you before this reading, so you're welcome. Just as like some additional information for them. So now we're gonna get into what the relationships would be like with each person. I love when just like tea comes out for me. I feel like I've been really like picking up on like secrecy lately. Okay, so person 1. Tell me what the relationship would be like with them in my pile 3. Okay, we have the 4 of Wands reversed. This is too big, but I'll take the first one. We have the 6 of Pumpkins reversed. I heard like, this is so stupid, because this is a celebration card. I heard in my head like anti-celebration. Like, wow, that's really interesting, very deep. But I just don't feel like there's a lot to celebrate in this relationship with this person. There seems to be a lot more of like, because like the opposite of trick, because they're giving out, or the opposite of treats, because they're giving out treats, is trick. So I think there's a lot of like deception and like trickery in this relationship, and more drama than this relationship seems to be worth. It's a lot of drama. I think you love this person. I think that's why you're like, you want to make it work, but you can love people and not be with them. You can wish them the best. We have Page of Wands in reverse. Okay, interesting. So I see this with it being in the upright, like the devil, like pulling on your sleeve, and in reverse, it looks like you're able to keep the devil away. They're able to keep the devil away. We'll get a clarifier for that one, because that does seem to be relating to the escapism and addiction. We have the Knight of Bats reversed. Okay, let's get some clarifiers. Clarify the 4 of Wands for me. We have the Fool. Okay. So this relationship with them, if you did begin it, it would bring a new beginning for you. But I don't see it as one being tied to this person. I think that's by undergoing this relationship, you're kind of just like going backwards in a way, when you could just have a new beginning a little bit easier. So essentially you're being brought back to the same place anyway if you are in this relationship with them. 7 of Pumpkins, clarifying the 6 of Pumpkins. That's interesting to me because they're right, like one after another. I think all the efforts that you put into this relationship to grow it, I think, are not making the crops like very, what's the word? Like very fertile, I guess it would be. Like, it just seems like everything's coming up like rotted. You're not getting what you put into this relationship despite how much you're pouring in. The Ace of Wands here. I do think you feel very much so constricted by this relationship. Very much so, like, this person might be the type, I don't know if this is a literal message, but I think that they are going to rely on you a lot for self-worth and like confidence. And I think that they are the type to give the vibe of, not that they would necessarily say this, but to say, I will myself if like you leave me. And that's not a healthy thing to say to somebody, even if you do feel that way. It's not okay to put that on people that you love. So we have the Devil in reverse, clarifying the Knight of Bats. Then we have the Moon here too. Yeah, I think that you know the answer, pile one, with this here, and I'm not going to tell you what to do, like I said, but I just think that if you want this person in your life at all, it's better at a distance. I wouldn't even really, if it was me, I don't know if I'd be close friends with them. I think that they have a tendency to really push your boundaries. And I don't think that they really mean to. They just need to find ways to cope by themselves. So let's do person two. We have Nine of Bats and we have the Seven of Bats. Interesting. So I do think that the idea of being in a relationship with this person gives you a lot of anxiety. And we'll find out why. I think this is a relationship that's very much so doesn't involve kids. I know I said this person's very like domestic, but I don't think that's like in regards to children, more so like relationship-y. But we do have 10 of Pumpkins here too. So there is like a happy ever after happening in its own right. But I see only 2 people on that card, whereas in the 10 of Pentacles in the traditional tarot has like children, like stuff like that. We have the Sun coming out. Let's get clarifiers. Clarify the Nine of Swords for me. Okay, we have the Fool. Interesting. You have a lot of anxiety about this new beginning with this person just because it's completely foreign to you. It's a completely different message than the one with person 1. We have Seven of Bats being clarified by the 8 of Wands. I think that you as a couple will be very interested in lots of different things, traveling lots of different places, but also like just constantly like challenging yourself to do different things and different activities. It's a very stimulating relationship. We have the Seven of Cups clarifying the 10 of Pentacles, which tells me there's a lot of socialization happening in this relationship, a lot of going out, going to, I want to say conferences for some reason, but going to different events together and just being real content and like bringing your relationship to the public. We have the Page of Pentacles clarifying the Sun here. Yeah, I just see this as being like really happy. Like this is an above average relationship, I would say, for sure. Like you guys feel really content with each other. And I'm not here to tell you if it's forever either, but like this would be a good direction for you to go. And if you want to pursue this relationship, I think you guys would work really well together. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please leave a like on this video and leave me a comment to let me know what resonated. If you like my vibe, please do stay and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. But either way, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed week, and I will see you later. Bye.